The massive ship appeared in Earth's sky on a Tuesday morning, blocking out the sun over 3 major cities. Admiral Zethkar stood on the bridge of the Sovereign Authority, his 4 arms crossed in satisfaction. The ship was magnificent, 10 miles long, covered in gleaming metal that sparkled with energy weapons. Below them, the primitive planet called Earth spun slowly, completely unaware of what was about to happen. "Sir, we are receiving multiple communications from the surface," reported Lieutenant Vexhai, her tentacles dancing over the control panel. "They seem excited?" Zethkar frowned. In his 300 years of service to the Galactic Empire, he had never heard that word used to describe a species' reaction to first contact. Fear, yes. Terror, certainly. Desperate pleas for mercy, absolutely. But excited? That was new. "Put them through," he commanded, adjusting his ceremonial armor. The Empire's first contact protocol was simple and had worked for 10,000 years. Appear with overwhelming force, deliver the ultimatum, accept their surrender, and move on to the next world. These humans would be no different. The main screen flickered to life, showing what appeared to be a hastily assembled group of humans, sitting around a table. One was drinking from a cup that said, "World's okayest dad." Another was wearing what looked like pajamas. A third appeared to be a very young human, possibly a child, who was grinning widely and waving at the camera. "Hello there," said the pajama-wearing human cheerfully. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen from NASA. This is Ambassador Rodriguez from the UN, and this is Tyler. He's the one who actually figured out how to answer your call. We're so excited to meet you." Zethkar blinked all 4 of his eyes. This was not in the manual. He straightened up and began the traditional first contact speech, the one that had brought countless worlds under imperial rule. "Greetings, primitive inhabitants of the 3rd planet. I am Admiral Zethkar of the Galactic Empire. Your world has been selected for incorporation into our vast domain. You will surrender all weapons, submit to imperial authority, and prepare for colonization. Resistance is futile and will result in the complete destruction of your species." There was a moment of silence. Then the young human called Tyler burst into laughter. "Oh man, did you guys watch Star Trek before coming here? That's like, exactly, what the bad guys always say." Tyler wiped tears from his eyes. "That's awesome. Are you doing the whole evil empire thing on purpose? That's so cool." Dr. Chen elbowed Tyler gently. "What Tyler means is, we're honored by your visit, but we're a bit confused about the colonization part. Are you looking for somewhere to live? Because Earth is pretty crowded, but I'm sure we could work something out. Do you need water? We have lots of water." Zethkar's mandibles clicked in confusion. You do not fear us?" Ambassador Rodriguez leaned forward. "Should we? You seem very polite. A little formal maybe, but that's probably just cultural differences. Are you hungry? We were just about to order lunch. Do you eat food or do you have some kind of different system?" "We are the Galactic Empire," Zethkar roared, his voice echoing through the bridge. "We command fleets that can destroy stars. We rule over 10,000 worlds. Wow, 10,000 worlds?" Dr. Chen interrupted, looking genuinely impressed. "That must be incredible. How do you manage the logistics? I mean, just coordinating between countries on Earth is hard enough. You must have some amazing organizational systems." Lieutenant Vexhai leaned over to whisper to the Admiral. "Sir, I think they're actually curious about our bureaucracy." Tyler was bouncing in his chair. "Can we see your ship, please? I've been building models of spaceships since I was little, and yours looks amazing. Is that some kind of energy shielding on the hull? And those weapon arrays, are they plasma-based? Or something else?" Zethkar looked around his bridge. His crew was staring at the screen in fascination. This had never happened before. In the Empire's long history, first contact always followed the same pattern. The aliens would see their massive ship, hear the ultimatum, and either surrender immediately or start shooting. They never asked about bureaucracy. They never complimented the ship design. They certainly never invited them to lunch. "You are not responding correctly," Zethkar said slowly. "You should be afraid. You should be begging for mercy. You should be asking what you can do to appease us." "Well," said Ambassador Rodriguez thoughtfully, "you could start by telling us what you actually want." I mean, if you need resources, maybe we can trade for them. If you need somewhere to live, we can probably work out some kind of immigration agreement. If you're just exploring, that's cool too. We love meeting new people. But the 10,000 worlds thing is really impressive, Dr. Chen added. You must have learned so much from all those different species. We'd love to hear about them. Do you have any pictures? Tyler gasped. Do you have like a galactic internet? Can we see alien social media? Oh man, do aliens have memes? Zethkar felt a headache forming between his primary eyes. We conquer worlds. We do not share pictures. That seems kind of lonely, Dr. Chen said gently. I mean, you're traveling around the galaxy meeting all these amazing species, and you're not making friends with any of them. That must be really isolating. We do not need friends, Zethkar snapped. We need subjects, we need obedience, we need pizza, Tyler interrupted. I bet you need pizza. Have you guys ever had pizza? Because if you haven't, your whole empire is basically incomplete. No offense. What is pizza? Asked Lieutenant Vexhai before she could stop herself. Tyler's eyes lit up. Oh, you are in for such a treat. Dr. Chen, we have to order pizza for our new friends. What do aliens eat? Do you guys have dietary restrictions? Dr. Chen was already reaching for her phone. This is actually a great idea. Food sharing is a universal sign of friendship. Admiral, we'd be honored to host you for a meal. Consider, hit our first diplomatic gesture. Zethkar stared at the screen. Somewhere in his military training, there had to be a protocol for this situation. Somewhere in the Empire's vast database of conquered worlds, there had to be a species that had responded to first contact by offering food and asking about their organizational structure. Sir, Lieutenant Vexhai whispered, what are your orders? Zethkar looked at his crew, then back at the cheerful humans on the screen. Tyler was now explaining the difference between various pizza toppings to a fascinated communications officer. Dr. Chen was asking detailed questions about their ship's life support systems, not to gather intelligence, but because she seemed genuinely concerned about whether they could breathe Earth's atmosphere safely. For the first time in his military career, Admiral Zethkar of the Galactic Empire had absolutely no idea what to do next. The humans were not following any known pattern of behavior. They were treating first contact like a neighborhood barbecue invitation. Admiral? Dr. Chen's voice was gentle. Would you like to come down and visit? We promise we're friendly, and the pizza really is amazing. Zethkar closed all four eyes and wondered what he had gotten himself into. 3 days later, Admiral Zethkar found himself standing in what the humans called a park, in the middle of a city called New York. His ceremonial armor felt ridiculous among the humans in their casual clothing. Children were playing on strange metal structures while their parents watched from benches. Some humans were throwing round discs to four-legged creatures that chased them enthusiastically. Those are dogs, Dr. Chen explained, noticing his stare. They're pets, companion animals. Do your people have pets? Zethkar tried to process this information. You keep other species as companions? Well, we domesticated them thousands of years ago. Now they're family members, basically. Tyler appeared beside them, carrying a flat box that smelled incredible. Pizza's here. I got half pepperoni, half veggie, just in case you guys are vegetarians or something. Lieutenant Vexhai, who had accompanied the Admiral to the surface, leaned closer to the box. It smells pleasant, right? Just wait until you taste it. Tyler opened the box with a flourish. Okay, so this is cheese, this is tomato sauce, and these little circles are pepperoni. It's like meat from an earth animal called a pig. The Admiral's cultural analysis team had prepared him for this moment. According to their research, sharing food was often a prelude to either mating rituals or establishing dominance hierarchies. He approached the pizza cautiously. Tyler handed him a triangular slice. Just bite it. Don't overthink it. Zethkar took a small bite. The combination of flavors was unlike anything in Imperial cuisine. It was pleasant. Very pleasant, actually. Good. Right? Tyler grinned. Pizza is basically perfect. You can put anything on it, it's portable, and it makes everyone happy. Dr. Chen was talking to Lieutenant Vexhai about the nutritional content and preparation methods. Vexhai was taking notes, her tentacles moving rapidly across a data pad. So the humans cultivate these tomatoes and process milk from another species to create this cheese, Vexhai was saying. And they combine these elements in precise ratios. It's not that precise, Dr. Chen laughed. Everyone makes it, a little differently. That's part of the fun. Meanwhile, a crowd had gathered. Word had spread that aliens were visiting the park, and dozens of humans had come to see them. But instead of the fearful mob the Admiral had expected, they were curious. Friendly, even. "Excuse me," said an elderly human woman, approaching Zethkar with a warm smile. "I'm sorry to bother you, but are you really from outer space?" Zethkar straightened up, preparing to deliver an intimidating response. "I am Admiral Zethkar of the Galactic Empire, commander of—" "Oh my goodness, that's wonderful," the woman interrupted. "I'm Margaret. I've been fascinated by astronomy my whole life. What's it like out there? Are there really other planets? With life? Yes. Many planets. 10,000 worlds under Imperial rule." Margaret's eyes widened. 10,000? How amazing! You must have seen such incredible things. Different suns, different landscapes. Do you have pictures? Before Zethkar could respond, a young human had pulled out a small device and was pointing it at them. "Can I get a selfie with you guys? This is so cool." "What is a selfie?" Lieutenant Vexahai asked. "It's a picture you take of yourself," Tyler explained, "for sharing with friends, social media stuff." Within minutes, Zethkar found himself surrounded by humans holding up small devices, all wanting pictures. They were laughing, asking questions about his armor, complimenting his ship. One child asked if he had any alien toys to show them. "This is not how first contact is supposed to proceed," Zethkar muttered to Vexhai. "Sir, I've been monitoring their communication networks," Vexhai whispered back. "They're sharing images and videos of us across their entire planet. But they're not treating us as a threat. They're treating us as celebrities." A teenager showed Zethkar his communication device, which displayed a rapidly moving stream of text and images. "Look, you're trending on Twitter. Friendly Aliens is already at like 2 million posts. Everyone's being super nice about you guys." Zethkar stared at the screen. Humans around the world were sharing pictures, asking questions, and expressing excitement about meeting aliens. Some were making jokes, but they weren't mean jokes. They were welcoming jokes. "See this one?" The teenager pointed to a post. "This guy says you look like his Uncle Bob if Uncle Bob was blue and had extra arms. And look, this person wants to know if you need a place to stay while you're visiting Earth." Dr. Chen returned with more food. "I brought some other things for you to try. This is ice cream, this is a hamburger, and these are French fries. Oh, and this is coffee. Be careful with the coffee. It's pretty strong." Zethkar found himself trying each item while humans gathered around, offering suggestions and asking about his preferences. The ice cream was cold and sweet. The hamburger was complex and satisfying. The coffee was indeed strong and somehow made him feel more alert. "Your species has impressive food diversity," Lieutenant Vexhai observed, carefully documenting each item. "Thanks. We take food pretty seriously," Dr. Chen said. "Every culture on Earth has different cuisines. Wait until you try Chinese food or Indian curry or Mexican tacos." A small human child tugged on Zethkar's armor. He looked down to see a tiny girl holding up a colorful drawing. "I made this for you," she said shyly. "It's your spaceship. I added some flowers because I thought it would look prettier." Zethkar stared at the drawing. His magnificent warship, symbol of imperial might, had been decorated with small, colorful flowers around the edges. The child had even drawn stick figures of humans and aliens holding hands near the ship. "Thank you," he said quietly, taking the drawing. "It is very thoughtful." The child beamed and ran back to her parents. "You know," Tyler said, finishing his second slice of pizza, "you guys seem pretty cool for an evil galactic empire. Are you sure you're doing the evil thing right? Because you seem more like really intense explorers to me." Zethkar looked around the park. Humans were sharing food with his crew, taking pictures, asking questions about their technology and culture. Children were playing nearby, occasionally running up to stare at the aliens with wide-eyed wonder before giggling and running away. The elderly woman named Margaret was showing Lieutenant Vexhai pictures of Earth's night sky on her device. Perhaps, Zethkar said slowly, we have been approaching galactic relations incorrectly. Oh, definitely, Tyler agreed cheerfully. I mean, the whole intimidation thing might work on some species, but humans are weird. We're like, oh, scary, powerful aliens, cool. Are they friendly? Can we be friends? Do they want to hang out? It's probably super confusing if you're used to people being afraid of you. Dr. Chen nodded. Tyler's right. We're naturally curious about new things, even potentially dangerous new things. It's gotten us in trouble before, but it's also how we learn and grow. Zethkar folded the child's drawing carefully and placed it in his armor's storage compartment. For the first time in his military career, he wondered if there might be a better way to explore the galaxy than conquering everything they found. Admiral, Vexhai said quietly, we should report back to Imperial Command soon. Zethkar looked at his lieutenant, then at the humans around them, then at the setting sun painting the sky in brilliant colors. Soon, he agreed. But first, Dr. Chen mentioned something called ice cream. I believe we should investigate this further, for the good of the Empire, of course. Tyler laughed. Oh man, wait until you try chocolate chip cookie dough flavor. Your whole empire is about to change. The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been called for the first time in 200 years. Representatives from across the Empire gathered in the massive chamber on the capital world of Zirion Prime. The air buzzed with nervous energy, as species that had been silent for centuries whispered among themselves. High Chancellor Morden, an imposing figure with crystalline skin and 6 legs, called for order. We are here to discuss the Terra situation. His voice boomed across the chamber. Admiral Zethkar's reports have been concerning. In the back rows, Ambassador Kleta of the Epsilon Collective leaned toward her neighbor. Is it true? The humans really aren't afraid? Ambassador Yixenal from the Outer Rim shook his head. My sources say they invited the Admiral to something called a baseball game. He apparently enjoyed it. The murmur of conversation grew louder until Chancellor Morden slammed his staff against the floor. Order. We will now review the evidence. The main display screen flickered to life, showing footage from Earth. Admiral Zethkar appeared standing in what looked like a human dwelling, wearing a bright yellow garment that said, I Hearts NY, across the front. He was holding a small furry creature while a human explained something called cat care. As you can see, Chancellor Morden continued grimly, the Admiral has been compromised. More footage played, Zethkar trying something called ice skating while humans cheered encouragingly. Lieutenant Vexhai learning to operate a human cooking device called a blender. Imperial crew members wearing human clothing and taking what humans called group photos. This is worse than we thought, muttered Ambassador Zelric from the core worlds. They're actually enjoying themselves. The screen changed to show footage that had been intercepted from human communication networks. Videos of Imperial ships, with messages like Welcome to Earth projected on nearby buildings, humans waving from rooftops, children holding up signs that said, Thank you for visiting. But it was the next piece of footage that caused real alarm throughout the chamber. It showed humans talking to other alien species. So wait. A human was saying to a reptilian creature with large eyes, You guys have been part of this empire. For how long? 800 years? And you've never gotten to choose your own leaders? That seems kind of unfair. The reptilian alien, identified as a member of the Saurus Confederacy, looked confused. Choice? We do not understand this concept. Well, like democracy, the human explained patiently. You vote for who you want to represent you. Everyone gets a say in how things are run. It's not perfect, but it's way better than just having someone tell you what to do all the time. Chancellor Morden paused the footage. This video has been viewed by over 40 million beings across 17 different worlds. Similar videos are spreading throughout the Empire. Ambassador Kleta raised a tentacled hand. Chancellor, if I may, my people have been asking questions about choices, about whether the Empire's way is the only way. A scandalized gasp ran through the chamber. Questioning the Empire's methods was unthinkable, or had been, until now. The humans have created something they call social media, Chancellor Morden continued. They are using it to communicate directly with citizens of imperial worlds. They are sharing ideas about freedom, choice, and something called human rights that they believe should apply to all species. The screen showed more footage. Humans teaching aliens about art, music, and literature. Aliens sharing their own cultural practices with fascinated humans. Cooking exchanges, language lessons, friendship bracelets. Look at this, Ambassador Yixnal pointed at the screen. The crystalline hegemony hasn't spoken to outsiders in 3 centuries. Now they're sharing poetry with humans. And here, added Ambassador Klita, the warrior clans of Bathos are teaching humans their traditional dances. When was the last time the warrior clans danced for anyone? Chancellor Morden's crystalline skin darkened with frustration. The humans are disrupting 10,000 years of imperial order. They treat our most powerful military commanders like amusing visitors. They show no respect for authority. They question everything. But Chancellor, a small voice said from the middle section. Ambassador Pipton of the micro-colonies, barely visible even on the speaker platform, had never spoken in council before. The micro-colonies have received more cultural exchange requests in the past month than in the past century. My people are happy, happier than they have been in generations. Another murmur ran through the chamber, but this one sounded different. Less fearful, more curious. The humans ask about our children, continued Pipton, gaining confidence. They want to know what we dream about. They care about our individual stories, not just our resource production quotas. Ambassador Zelric stood up. The core worlds report similar experiences. Human tourists are asking to visit, not to conquer or exploit, but to learn, to experience our culture. They offer to share their own culture in return. This is exactly the problem, Chancellor Morden roared. The Empire is built on order, hierarchy, and clear chains of command. The humans are introducing chaos. They make beings think they can choose their own paths. But maybe, Ambassador Klita said quietly, maybe that's not a bad thing. The chamber fell silent. For several long moments, no one spoke. The idea was too revolutionary, too dangerous to voice. Finally, Ambassador Yixnal stood. My people fought the Empire for 50 years before surrendering. We became part of the imperial system because we had no choice. But the humans are offering us choice. They're offering all of us choice. The humans have something else, added Pipton. They have something they call hope. They believe things can get better. They believe everyone deserves to be happy. Chancellor Morden looked around the chamber at faces that had been obedient for centuries, now showing expressions he had never seen before. Curiosity, wonder, and yes, hope. This is madness, he declared. The Empire has brought order to the galaxy for 10 millennia. We have ended wars, established trade, created stability. At what cost? Ambassador Klita asked gently. How many species have forgotten their own songs? How many worlds have given up their dreams? The footage on the screen changed one more time. It showed a massive gathering on Earth, with humans and aliens from dozens of species mingling freely. Children of different species playing together, adults sharing food, music, and stories. Everyone was laughing. They call it the first Galactic Friendship Festival, Chancellor Morden said bitterly. Representatives from over 100 imperial worlds attended without authorization. It looks wonderful, whispered Ambassador Pipton. Around the chamber, other ambassadors were nodding. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council was thinking for itself. What do we do now? Asked Ambassador Yixnal. Chancellor Morden looked at the screen, where humans and aliens were singing together under Earth's stars. I do not know. In the back row, Ambassador Cleta was already making plans to visit Earth. She had heard about something called chocolate that was supposed to be amazing, and she wanted to learn more about this democracy concept. The Empire, as they knew it, was crumbling. But for the first time in 10,000 years, the galaxy was beginning to smile. Emperor Valdris had not left his throne world in over 3 centuries. The last time he had personally intervened in galactic affairs, it was to crush a rebellion that had threatened to spread across 12 star systems. That rebellion had been ended swiftly and decisively, with the rebels' homeworlds turned to glass as an example to others. Now, as his personal dreadnought emerged from hyperspace above Earth, Emperor Valdris expected this would be similarly simple. The humans would see his ship, a vessel the size of a small moon bristling with weapons capable of cracking planets, and they would finally understand their place in the galactic order. Instead, the first communication from Earth was not a surrender. It was an invitation. "Greetings, Emperor Valdris." The transmission came from a cheerful human woman with curly hair and an enormous smile. "I'm Jennifer Martinez, director of Earth's first intergalactic cultural festival. We're so excited you could make it. Admiral Zethkar has told us so much about you." Emperor Valdris stared at the screen. Behind the human woman, he could see what appeared to be a massive celebration. Beings from dozens of species were setting up colorful displays, sharing food, and engaging in what looked like recreational activities. "This is not a social gathering," the Emperor declared, his voice carrying the authority of 10,000 years of absolute rule. "This is an imperial intervention. You will cease this disruption of galactic order immediately." "Oh," Jennifer's smile somehow got even bigger. "You're worried about the organization. Don't worry, we've got everything under control. We borrowed some event planning ideas from the Centauri Commerce Guild. They're amazing at logistics. And the artistic collective of Rigel helped with the decorations. Would you like to see the schedule?" Before the Emperor could respond, she was holding up a colorful document. "We've got cultural exchange workshops starting at 10, the universal language sing-along at noon, and this afternoon we're doing team-building exercises. Admiral Zethkar is going to help judge the 3-legged race." "The 3-legged race?" Emperor Valdris repeated weakly. "It's where you tie 2 people's legs together and they have to run as a team. It's hilarious, and it really builds cooperation skills. We thought it would be perfect for getting different species to work together." The Emperor looked around his bridge. His officers were staring at the screen in fascination. One of them was actually taking notes. "Your Imperial Majesty," his aide whispered, "perhaps we should respond with the usual ultimatum." Emperor Valdris cleared his throat. "People of Earth and others. I am Emperor Valdris, ruler of the galaxy, master of 10,000 worlds, destroyer of—" "Oh, wow," Jennifer interrupted. 10,000 worlds, that's incredible. You must have the most amazing stories. Have you been to the crystal caves of Altair? We heard they're beautiful. And what about the singing forests of Vega Prime? Do they really harmonize with the wind?" The Emperor blinked. No one had interrupted him in ever. No one had ever interrupted the Emperor of the galaxy. What? Sorry, I'm just so excited to meet someone who's traveled so much. Oh, and we have a special VIP area set up for you. Admiral Zethkar thought you might be more comfortable with a private tent at first, until you get used to all the noise and activity. "I do not need to get used to anything," the Emperor roared. "I am here to restore order, to end this madness, to remind the galaxy why they fear imperial power." Jennifer's expression became concerned. "Oh, you seem really stressed. Are you okay? Do you need a hug? Do I need a— What?" "A hug. It's a human gesture of comfort and support. We share them when someone is upset or worried." The Emperor turned to his aide. "What is happening here?" His aide, a decorated general who had conquered 17 star systems, was scrolling through what appeared to be a human communication device. "Sir, it appears they've organized representatives from over 300 imperial worlds. They're calling it a friendship festival, and the attendance numbers are unprecedented." On the main screen, the view shifted to show the scope of the gathering. Thousands of beings from across the galaxy were mingling freely, The Emperor recognized species that had been enemies for centuries now sharing meals and laughing together. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Well," Jennifer said cheerfully, "it turns out that most species actually like each other when they get a chance to talk. The warrior clans of Bethos are teaching dance to the scholar collective of Proxima, and the deep-sea peoples of Aquarius are sharing stories with the sky riders of the Outer Rim. It's amazing what happens when people aren't afraid to be themselves." "Afraid?" The Emperor's voice was dangerous. "The galaxy fears imperial power. Fear brings order. Order brings peace." "But does it bring happiness?" Jennifer asked gently. "Because everyone here seems really happy. Look." The screen showed more footage of the festival. Children from different species playing games together. Artists collaborating on massive sculptures that combined techniques from dozens of worlds. Musicians creating new forms of harmony by blending traditional songs from across the galaxy. "This is chaos," the Emperor declared. "This is joy," Jennifer corrected. "When was the last time you felt joy, Your Majesty?" The question hit the Emperor like a physical blow. Joy? He was the master of the galaxy. He did not need joy. He needed obedience, respect, fear. "Sir," his communications officer interrupted, "we're receiving thousands of messages from the surface. They're invitations." "Invitations to what?" "Everything, sir. Cooking demonstrations, art exhibitions, sporting events, philosophy discussions, music concerts. There's even an invitation to something called a karaoke competition." "What is karaoke?" Jennifer's eyes lit up. "Oh, you'll love karaoke. It's where people take turns singing songs. Sometimes they're good at it, sometimes they're terrible, but everyone has fun. Admiral Zethkar did a duet with Representative Klita yesterday. They sang an Earth song called Don't Stop Believing. It was amazing." The Emperor tried to imagine his most feared military commander singing with a diplomatic representative. The image was so absurd that he felt something strange happen to his face. His mouth curved upward. "Sir?" His aide whispered urgently. "Are you smiling?" The Emperor quickly restored his expression to its usual stern mask. "Certainly not. I am planning our response to this disruption." "Well, while you're planning," Jennifer said, "would you like to try some food? We've got cuisines from all over the galaxy. The fungal networks of Spore Prime made something called consciousness bread that's supposed to be really enlightening. And the fire elementals of Pyros created a soup that's literally made of controlled plasma." Despite himself, Emperor Valdris was curious about consciousness bread. "This is not how Imperial interventions are supposed to proceed," he muttered. "Maybe that's because Imperial interventions are kind of outdated?" Jennifer suggested gently. "I mean, no offense, but the whole ruling through fear thing seems pretty exhausting. For you, I mean. You must be so tired of everyone being afraid. Of you all the time." The Emperor paused. He was tired. He had been tired for centuries. Maintaining fear required constant vigilance, constant shows of force, constant reminders of the consequences of disobedience. When was the last time someone had spoken to him without trembling? "Your Majesty," his aide said quietly, "the ship's sensors are detecting something unusual from the planet's surface." "What kind of unusual?" "Music, sir. They're all singing together. All the different species. It's actually quite beautiful." The Emperor listened. Even through the ship's hull he could hear it. Thousands of voices from hundreds of worlds creating harmony together. "Sir?" Jennifer's voice was soft. "Would you like to come down and join us? We promise we don't bite." "Well, most of us don't bite. The carnivorous collective of Rigel might nibble a little, but they're very polite about it." Emperor Valdris looked at his bridge crew. They were all listening to the music, and several of them had the same strange expression he had felt on his own face earlier. "Perhaps," he said slowly, "a brief inspection of this gathering would be appropriate." Jennifer's smile could have powered a small star. "Wonderful. I'll have someone meet your shuttle. Oh, and don't worry about bringing anything. We've got everything covered. Although if you happen to have any good stories about your travels, people would love to hear them." As the Emperor prepared to leave his ship, he realized he was about to do something he had never done before in his 3,000-year life: attend a party. He was terrified. He was also, though he would never admit it, a little excited. 6 months after the first intergalactic cultural festival, the galaxy looked completely different. Not because of war or conquest, but because beings across thousands of worlds had discovered something they had forgotten they were allowed to: have choice. Dr. Sarah Chen sat in her new office at the headquarters of the Galactic Friendship Initiative, an organization that had somehow become the de facto government of what used to be the Empire. Through her window she could see beings from dozens of species walking through the gardens, talking, laughing, and sharing meals under Earth's blue sky. "The latest reports are in," Tyler announced, bursting through the door with his usual enthusiasm. At 19, he had somehow become the galaxy's youngest diplomatic advisor and was taking the responsibility very seriously. "The warrior clans of Bethos have officially declared peace with everyone and started a galaxy-wide dance academy. The Scholar Collective of Proxima is offering free education to any species that wants it. And get this, the deep-sea peoples of Aquarius are terraforming dead worlds into ocean paradises, just because they want to." Dr. Chen smiled. "And the former imperial worlds? Most of them are setting up their own democratic governments. A few are trying other systems. The Artistic Collective wants to be ruled by whoever creates the most beautiful sculpture each year. The micro-colonies are experimenting with something they call consensus dreaming, where they make decisions by sharing dreams." "And the former emperor?" Tyler grinned. "You should see his cooking show. Cooking Across the Cosmos with Valdris's is the most popular program in galactic history. Last week he taught a crystalline hegemony representative how to make what he calls emotional soup. Apparently it changes flavor based on the cook's mood." Dr. Chen laughed. Emperor Valdris had surprised everyone by being remarkably good at television. His 3,000 years of experience had given him incredible stories, and his naturally dramatic personality translated perfectly to entertainment. More importantly, he seemed genuinely happy for the first time in centuries. What about Admiral Zethkar? Still running his social media accounts. Adventures with Admiral Zed has over 2 billion followers. Yesterday, he posted a video of himself learning to surf with some dolphins in the Pacific. The comment section was flooded with other species sharing their own ocean experiences. The former admiral had become something of a galactic celebrity. His genuine curiosity about everything, combined with his willingness to try any new experience, had made him the perfect ambassador for intergalactic friendship. He was currently traveling the galaxy, visiting different worlds and sharing his adventures with fascinated audiences everywhere. "Any problems?" Dr. Chen asked. Tyler's expression became slightly more serious. "A few. The militaristic alliance of Vega is having trouble adjusting. They keep asking who they're supposed to fight now that everyone wants to be friends. We've suggested they might enjoy competitive sports instead." "And the bureaucratic consortium?" "They're actually doing great. Turns out that organizing peaceful cultural exchanges is way more complex than managing a fear-based empire. They're loving the challenge." A gentle chime indicated an incoming transmission. The main screen in Dr. Chen's office flickered to life, showing Lieutenant Vexhai, who was currently stationed on the crystal worlds of Altair. "Dr. Chen, Tyler." Vexhai's tentacles waved enthusiastically. "You need to see this." The screen shifted to show a massive construction project. Thousands of beings from hundreds of species were working together to build something that looked like a combination of art installation, research facility, and party venue. "What is it?" Dr. Chen asked. "It's the first galactic university," Vexhai explained. "Every species is contributing something. The warrior clans are teaching physical fitness and courage. The Scholar Collective is handling research and academics. The Artistic Collective is managing creative expression. Even the fungal networks are participating. They're creating living buildings that grow and adapt to their inhabitants' needs." Tyler whistled. "That's amazing how many species are involved." "All of them," Vexhai said simply. "Every known species in the galaxy has sent representatives, They want to learn from each other, to share knowledge, to create something beautiful together. Dr. Chen felt tears in her eyes. 6 months ago, these species had been locked in rigid hierarchies, afraid to express themselves or reach out to others. Now they were collaborating on the largest educational project in galactic history. There's more, Vexhai continued. We've received a transmission from outside our galaxy. Another group of beings requesting permission to visit. They want to learn about our friendship protocols. Tyler burst into laughter. Oh no, we're going to have to explain democracy to a whole new galaxy. Before Dr. Chen could respond, another chime indicated an emergency transmission. The screen split to show Ambassador Rodriguez from the UN looking slightly panicked. Sarah, Tyler, we have a situation, Rodriguez said urgently. We've got 17 different alien species asking to establish permanent embassies on Earth. The crystalline hegemony wants to build a crystal garden in Central Park. The Sky Riders want to create floating platforms above major cities, and the fire elementals are asking if they can have a small volcano to live in. That sounds wonderful, Dr. Chen said. What's the problem? We're running out of room. Earth is becoming the most popular tourist destination in the galaxy. Everyone wants to visit the friendship planet where the Cultural Revolution started. Tyler was already pulling up holographic displays showing Earth's current situation. The planet was indeed busy. Ships from across the galaxy were arriving daily, bringing visitors who wanted to experience human culture and share their own. We could start an exchange program, Tyler suggested. Humans could visit other worlds while aliens visit Earth. Cultural exchange tourism. That's actually brilliant, Dr. Chen agreed. We could set up sister city programs between Earth cities and alien settlements. Chicago could partner with the Crystal Caves of Altair. New York could work with the floating cities of Nimbus Prime. Ambassador. Rodriguez looked relieved. I'll start making arrangements. Though I have to warn you, the mayor of Miami is very excited about hosting the Aquatic Collective. Something about the best beach parties in the galaxy. As the transmissions ended, Dr. Chen leaned back in her chair and looked out at the gardens again. A group of children from different species were playing what appeared to be a modified version of tag, while their parents watched and chatted. A crystalline being was teaching humans how to create music by resonating their crystal formations. A group of Skyriders were giving flying lessons to anyone brave enough to try. Tyler, she said quietly, do you think we did the right thing? Tyler looked at her in surprise. What do you mean? We basically dismantled a 10,000-year-old government by being friendly and offering people pizza. We changed the entire structure of galactic civilization because we couldn't understand why everyone was so serious all the time. Tyler grinned. Dr. Chen, look around. Everyone is happy. Really, genuinely happy. They're free to be themselves, to explore, to create, to love. The galaxy has gone from a place ruled by fear to a place ruled by friendship. If that's not the right thing, I don't know what is. Dr. Chen nodded, watching as Admiral Zethkar's latest video played on a nearby screen. He was teaching a group of warrior clan youngsters how to make friendship bracelets, and their delighted laughter echoed across the gardens. Besides, Tyler added, we've got that new transmission from outside the galaxy to deal with. Apparently, our reputation as the galaxy that chose friendship is spreading. We're about to have a whole new group of potential friends to meet. Dr. Chen smiled. Well then, I guess we better start planning another festival. Already on it, Tyler said, pulling up a planning document. I'm thinking we call it the Intergalactic Welcome Party for our new friends from really far away. What do you think? I think, Dr. Chen said, watching beings from across the galaxy work together in harmony outside her window. That sounds perfectly human. And somewhere in the depths of space, as news of the galaxy's transformation spread to distant stars, other civilizations began to wonder about these strange beings called humans who had accidentally revolutionized galactic society by simply being kind.